when I got my device, I eliminated 5 times the first day.
So what about the lumps above your knees?
They're soft now and almost gone.
Hey, Barbara, thanks so much for coming to hang out with me today.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to see you, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. So can you start off by telling the listeners a little bit about how you were feeling prior to coming to QHS?
Well, I'm just a little different. I've always been my own doctor, so I wasn't feeling that bad. But my problem is the accidents that I've been in. I've been in 4 major car accidents with 4 major head and neck injuries.
Oh,
And the first one, I was in high school. It rolled. I was in it when it rolled the first time, and I had a really big bump on my head. But I felt okay. But then 3 weeks later, I couldn't see. So I was taken to a chiropractor, and he adjusted my neck, and I could see. So
wow.
that started my belief in chiropractors.
Yeah, I go every week. I love my chiropractor.
And then the next accident was in 1992. My husband had taken all the seats out of his Pinto except for the driver's seat. And I was sitting on a metal floor, and we got rear-ended. We were stopping and we got rear-ended at 45 miles an hour. And the car ended up going the other direction in the ditch. It was a deep ditch, and it was like I was scrambled. I hit my head. My hips hurt. I lost my memory for about a year.
That's scary.
So other than that, I was okay. I ended up wearing a back brace around my hip so it didn't hurt. And running on it for 2 years. I mean, I had horse camps, and my daughter and I did the horse camps, and I would teach, these kids. And when they were beginners, I would run with the horse.
Oh, wow.
And then and 2 years later, I kept telling my chiropractor, I want you to x-ray my hips. He says, "Oh, I'll just adjust your neck and your hips will come in place." So finally, he had, after 2 years, he took an x-ray, and he said, quote, "Oh my God, your hip's been broken."
And you were running on a broken hip for 2
Yes.
years. Oh, girl. That had to
Anyway,
hurt.
so I quit going to that chiropractor, and because somebody in church told me about a chiropractor in Lawrenceville. So I went to him, and he adjusted my neck with a sweat machine. I don't remember the technical name for it, but Dr. Sweat invented it.
Mm.
And, and he adjusted everything else. But besides that, my daughter had to take me everywhere. She was 14 years old, and she had to drive me everywhere. She had a permit. So by that was when it first happened. But then 2 years later, she was 16. She had her license. So because I couldn't see straight, I had 2 images coming at me, and it was very confusing. It looked like both sides of the grocery aisle were falling on me. It was really crazy. I couldn't drive, I couldn't read, I couldn't write very good. It was difficult, and I was homeschooling. So the kids kind of had to
Wow.
take care of themselves. We had a curriculum, and so they did. So that was, they were used to it from, so that they kind of got by.
Independent. That's good.
Yeah. And let's see. Anyway, after he adjusted my neck and we were on the way home, I said to Wendy, my daughter, I don't know what's going on, but I feel my eyeball turning in my head.
Oh, that's interesting.
I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, I could see straight. I said, "Oh, Wendy, I can see straight. There's not two images coming at me." So that was, he said my eye was aberrant, whatever that, yeah, it was just going off it that way, and this eye was looking pretty much straight.
Mm.
So everything was a mess. Anyway,
Wow.
the next accident, that was in 92, the next accident was in 99. And I often forget all the injuries, so I wrote it down. I'll start at my top. My nose was broken, and the doctor said my sinuses were crushed. I didn't understand that, but my jawbone was split with the teeth in the upper part and the roots in the lower part. They had to wire it together and hope they met. So that was a little difficult. Both shoulders were injured, but they really didn't do anything to them because they were just, I was in surgery 6.5 hours anyway. Left wrist was crushed. I had a fixator bar to hold my hand up because it was just hanging.
Wow.
And 5 ribs broken. One of them lacerated my spleen. My colon was damaged. I had large knots on each side of my colon where the seat belt hurt it because I just flopped over. The shoulder strap did not hold because my husband never put the brakes on. He had an airbag, and the kids said that if he hadn't had that airbag, he would have been killed. But we had bought a company car, and it didn't have, they're not supposed to have passengers, so I didn't have an airbag. I
Oh
just flopped
gosh.
down. Anyway, my colon didn't work for 11 days either. My left foot was crushed. Right foot had 5 fractures, and I was bruises and contusions everywhere else.
Girl, that's amazing. I mean, that's horrible.
But anyway, that was in April 17th of 1999.
Wow.
Then the last accident, I was actually driving. A woman pulled out of her driveway, of a driveway in front of me, and I slammed on the brakes, and I slammed, I couldn't take a hold of the horn. I couldn't push on the horn because I couldn't let go of the wheel because I
Yeah.
was skidding. I left black marks a long ways, but she kept coming. And I swerved over to the other side of the road, and she kept coming, and I hit her. I mean, but if I had kept going straight instead of swerving, I would have hit her broadside and I would have killed her.
Oh
But
gosh.
she wasn't injured, which was good because I just hit the front.
Were you injured?
What?
Were you injured?
Well, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, a box of tools that my husband had in the back flew up and hit me in the back of the head, giving me a hematoma on the brain. I couldn't walk. I could walk, but I couldn't run. I couldn't ride my bike. I couldn't ride my horse. I couldn't ride my four-wheeler. I couldn't do anything but walk, and kind of easy at that. So it was,
It sounds to me like God has some big plans for you.
well, I don't know. Anyway, and it injured my hip again because I was slamming on the brakes so hard. I was really leaning back and pushing on the brakes, and so that just really pushed my hip up.
And when was that one?
2007.
Okay.
So
Okay. So then when did you get your device?
in September of last year.
Okay.
June-
And what did
June
you
got
notice?
hers. June, well, the first
June?
oh, Eva.
Eva. Okay.
I'm sorry, Eva. She told me about it, and I was with Cynthia back in the Carden group too. So I've been with her a long time, and I knew she did everything first class, and that it was going to be a good thing. So I signed up, and when I got my device, I eliminated 5 times the first day.
Wow.
And I only weigh 100 pounds, so that was wow. It's not that.
You were like detoxing something.
Yeah, something. But anyway, then I went, I didn't feel anything for months. And just the last month or two, well, I don't know. I can't remember just when. I was driving up to Eva's, and all of a sudden my legs started hurting. I never had that before. I mean, my legs were large and they felt heavy all the time since the 99 accident. They were large for me. And it started hurting so bad, I turned around and came back. And then the next day, the other leg hurt. And the next day.
Was that like a herxing, do you think? Like you were releasing something?
Well, I think I was retracing.
Mm.
And I've been retracing since. It's been, the first thing I did was feel pain and somewhere where I have been injured.
Mm-hmm.
I never, of course, I was always active, and riding my horse and all this stuff, and I never let any of it stop me. The accident in 99 was in April, and in November, we went on an all-day trail ride at the International Horse Park.
Wow.
Well, I started therapy. And one day, this guy came in and was doing therapy in the same room. And I said, what was wrong with him? And they said, he broke his wrist, falling off of a ladder. Well, he was a painter, and So I said, well, how long ago was that? And they said 2 years. I never went back. I thought, this is just a money machine. I'm
Wise woman.
going to start cooling out the horses that my daughter is training because they're already tired, and I'll just ride them and cool them out and work the reins with my hands. I couldn't close my hand any more than this. And so I would put the reins in my hand and try and work my fingers, and pretty quick I was warming them up for her and then cooling the last one down. And then I started riding the lesson pony because, like I said, we had horse camps, and going on trail rides and doing all
So
sorts
you
of
became your own physical therapist.
The horses helped. The horse
Yeah,
riding, using the reins. Pretty quick, I could close my hand.
nice. That's wonderful. But did you notice improvement with your device?
I really never let anything stop me, and so I just kept going, and I really didn't feel anything until I felt pain in my leg, and that was injured, and the other leg was injured. So because they were bigger than I liked, and they felt heavy.
So what about the lumps above your knees?
They're soft now and almost gone. I
What
mean,
were they?
I can see improvements. What were they? I don't,
What are they? What were they from the accident?
from the 99 accident, because my legs were the size of a barrel, my daughter said. She said she didn't know skin could stretch so tight without splitting. She said this blimp was laying on this table. If they hadn't told her it was me, she wouldn't have ever recognized me.
Oh, wow, from all the inflammation.
Obviously, well, she was at home an hour away. And my son was at a friend's house another hour away the other direction. So he came home and picked her up, and they came together. And it was 2 hours before she saw me. June came right away.
Is June Eva? But
Eva.
her name is June, but she goes by Eva, or vice versa?
Her name is Eva June.
Oh, okay.
Eva came right away, her and her husband.
Okay. Wow.
My
Well,
husband was off getting an x-ray on his foot. He broke one bone in one foot.
wow. I feel like because you've survived these 4 horrible crashes, that God's like, nope, I'm not done with you yet. Nope, I'm not done with you yet. We've got work to do, which I know from talking to Eva that you guys do have work to do. So talk to me about, pretty soon, you're going to have a healthy 30-year-old body, and everything's going to be in its proper place.
With everything fixed. My medical massage therapist told me nothing in your body is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, until we go through the Q arc, and it will be. So
praise the Lord.
What excites you about that? How's it going to make your life better?
Well, I'll have, more energy and stamina, and it's not that I don't have a lot of energy right now, but when I was bush hogging the pasture a couple weeks ago, the tractor hit part of a deer horn, and I was bush hogging alongside of this tree, and a branch was coming out that I couldn't see. It was totally covered up. My husband didn't bush hog at all, and anyway, he let it get out of line, and the tractor went up and over this, on top of this tree, and the deer horn, I guess it was along the tree, but the tire came off of the wheel. I mean, it was a rough ride.
You're crazy. You're out there doing it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'll be 80 this month.
Oh my gosh, Barbara, you're amazing. I can't believe you're going to be 80. My mom just turned 80 and you could do cartwheels around her 100 times over. Good job. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do post QARC? What are you excited about?
Well, I want to get involved with having some centers for the QARC. And I want to be involved in cleaning up the air and the soil and the water. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I want to take a couple of years to travel, and I want a house. I live in a double wide. So we came down to the farm in 98, the end of 98, to build. And my son got the land cleared where this is sitting. And we were going to build, and then we were in the accident. So my husband wouldn't build after that. So later on, he put a mobile home here, double wide. So that's where we're living right now. I want to build a house somewhere. I'm going to travel a couple years to figure out where.
So you might move out of the area.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you have plenty of time to decide.
My daughter's in New York and my son is in Kentucky. I don't like New York. Kentucky is a beautiful state, but I'm not sure I like the winters. I'm from Iowa though, so I can get used to it.
Yeah. Well, you'll feel good and you'll have lots of energy. And so you'll be able to decide wherever you want to go. Maybe you'll want to have a place in both areas so you can keep your friend circle, which sounds like you have a good friend circle.
Yeah, I have. Eva is a very, very good friend. And my medical massage therapist is here too. So it'd be hard to leave her.
Yeah.
Because after that tractor ride, she had to, really work on me. She said, you look like you've ridden a bucking bronco or something.
Aw. Yeah, that sounds like a few times. You are a tough cookie. Well, I want to thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope that you'll come back and do part 2 post QARC.
Oh, yes.
And what would you like to say in closing, Barbara?
Well, I just really appreciate you having me here, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, then I look forward to having you back.
Thank you for making this QHS project fly. This valorous admin team, thank you. The key communication community welcomes you. Thank you for making your home QHS healthy and happy. Thank you for helping us place QH centers all around the world. Together, hand in hand, we make miracles happen. QuantumHealingSystems.org. Thank you.